Namaste, good morning. So we started with the residential status, determination of residential status of individuals. We are primarily now focusing on individuals. Okay, so determination of residential status of individual. Uh, Sneha Mohan, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir.
What are all the two conditions, basic and additional? Each condition has 2 points. Can you tell us the two basic conditions?
Yes, sir. So he should stayed in India for 182 days or more during the relevant previous year,
Paka?
and he should be in India for 60 days or more during the relevant uh, previous year, and 365 days or more during 4 preceding years.
Yeah. So basic condition A 182, basic condition B 60 plus 365 in 4 years. So for three categories of persons, basic condition B is not applicable. Who are all they?
Uh, for the person who are for employment purpose, sir,
Okay.
members of ship crews
Yeah.
and person of Indian origin visiting India.
Yeah, a member of a ship crew, employment, those who are going for the purpose of employment, and ship crew visiting, a person of ship crew and a person of Indian origin visiting India, these conditions are not applicable. Okay, what are all the two additional conditions?
The additional conditions are he is a resident of India and at least uh, 2 out of 10 preceding years he should be stayed in India, and he is in India for a period of 370 days or more in 7
Yes,
preceding relevant years.
730 days or more in the 7 preceding days. Thank you, Sneha. So these are all the conditions which we test for determining the residential status of an individual. Okay, friends, this is the same material that comes to you. So along with the page numbers, this is correct now. Okay. Question number 7. Up to question number 6, we have worked out. Question number 7 in page number 17 for those of you. I hope the screen is visible to you. Sachin Tendulkar, a foreign citizen, not being a person of Indian origin, comes to India for the first time in the last 30 years on March 20, 2019. On September 1, 2019, he leaves India for Nepal on a business trip and comes back on 26th Feb 2020. Determine his RS for the assessment year 2021. Go ahead. Sham Ganesh, can you give me the answer after completing? You're not there. Simran, can you give me the answer?
Yes, sir, just 2 minutes.
Yeah, take your time.
Sir, sir, it is a resident but not ordinary resident.
RNOR.
Yes.
Period of stay in India, my dear friends, starts from April. We are in 1920. April he was here. May he was here. June he was here. July here. August here. And leaves on 1st of September. That should also be included. That should also be included. And then comes back on 26th February. So 26, 27, 28, 29, 4 days. Comes back on 26th Feb, okay, which means 26, 27, 28, 29, 4 days in Feb and 31 days in March. 189 days he was in India. 189 days he was in India in the year 1920. I am repeating, period of stay in India, April, May, June, July, August, full months. Because he has come in the last year, March itself, but up to March 31st, it is previous year 1819. So our year is 1920. So it starts from April, May, June, July, August, 5 full months. September, 1 day. 4 days of Feb and 31 days of March. So 189 days. Okay. He satisfies the first basic condition and does not satisfy any of the additional conditions because in 30 years he has never been here. Hence, he is a hence he is a RNOR resident, but not ordinary resident. Resident, but not ordinary resident. Look through the answer. Any doubts?
Sir, second basic condition is also not applicable to him, no, sir.
Why?
Actually, because he's a person of Indian origin visiting India.
Not being a person of Indian origin.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Question number 10.
Sir, we have already done it.
We have, no, actually, I have changed the question order. That's why you feel we have already done it. I have changed the question order. When you get the material, this will be the proper question number 10. Rosie, a Canadian national, got married to Mr. Ankur of India in Canada on 4/2/2019 and came to India for the first time on 16/4/2019. She remained in India till 15/9 and left for Canada on 16/9. Determine her residential status. What is the residential status? I'm listening.
Non-resident.
Non-resident. How many days, Bharati, in India?
154.
154.
Yes.
Anyone has a different answer? Even the number of days is different also, let me know.
So the period of stay is 183 days.
183. So you say resident.
Yes, sir. She is a resident, but not an ordinary
Ordinary.
resident.
Sir, 169.
169. Period of stay in India. Okay. It should start from April. It should start from April and came into India on 16/4/2019. 15 days in April, May full month, June full month, August full month, okay, July, sorry, May, June, July, August, and September up to 15th. Okay, I'm getting 153
Sir,
days.
September 16th தான் சார் லீவ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க.
Sir,
ஸோ
the day
16th
of
நம்ம
On
departure
16th, sorry,
also.
sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, got your point. I'm getting 154 days. I'm getting 154 days. That additional condition one. I'm looking into the theory. A residential status has to be determined for every person. We understood? It has to be determined for every person. So we understood how to compute for individuals. We understood how to compute for individuals. Okay. Next. Residential status for HUF. Residential status for Hindu undivided family. Residential status for Hindu undivided family. Residential status for Hindu undivided family. There are two conditions which enable for determination of residential status. Condition 1, my dear friends, condition 1 is for the family and condition 2 is for the karta. Condition 1 is for the family as a whole and condition 2 is for the karta. Like how we have two conditions in individuals, for HUF also there are two conditions. Condition 1 is applicable for whole of the family and condition 2 is applicable only to the karta of the family. Okay, let's just Okay, condition 1 is for the family and condition 2 is for the individual who is the head of the family. We call him as karta. Where control and management, this is basic condition, sorry, this is basic condition. Okay, where control and management of the HUF is partly or wholly in India, then it is a resident HUF. Where control and management is partly or wholly in India, then it is known as a resident HUF. Where control and management is wholly outside India, then it is a non-resident HUF. Where control and management is wholly outside India. Where the control and management, my dear friends, is completely outside India, then it is a NR. Repeating, where control and management is partly or wholly in India, then it is a resident HUF. Where control and management is wholly outside India, it's completely outside India, then it is a non-resident HUF. Then it is a non-resident HUF. So it depends upon this term called control and management. Okay, if it is wholly or partly in India, a resident, wholly outside India, non-resident. That is the basic condition. Additional conditions are applicable only to the karta. Please remember, additional conditions are only to the karta. Additional conditions are the same as specified to the individual. The karta should have been a resident. Okay, karta should have been a resident in at least 2 out of the 10 years preceding the relevant previous year. The karta should have been a resident in at least 2 out of the 10 years preceding the relevant previous year. Karta should have been in India. Karta should have been in India in for 730 days or more in the 7 years preceding the relevant previous year. Karta should have been in India for at least 730 days or more in the 7 years preceding the relevant previous year. Repeating the additional conditions, my dear friends. Repeating the additional condition, karta should have been a resident in the same like our individuals, only applicable for karta. So, karta should be a resident in 2 out of 10 years. And karta should have been here in India for 730 days or more. Because the main decision making head is karta, I am focusing on karta. Rules of determination. If control and management is partly or wholly in India and karta satisfies both the additional conditions, then HUF is a resident and ordinary resident. If control and management is wholly in India and also the Karta satisfies both the additional conditions, then the HUF is a ROR, resident and ordinary resident. If control and management is partly or wholly in India, but the Karta does not satisfy any one or both additional conditions, then HUF is a resident but not ordinary resident, or NOR. Control and management is partly or wholly in India, which means residency is ensured. But the Karta does not satisfy any one or both the additional conditions, RNOR, resident but not ordinary resident, RNOR. If control and management is wholly outside India, then we call the HUF as non-resident. Read through. I hope this is clear to all our friends.
1 minute, sir.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time, friends. Shall I?
No, sir.
residential status for firm AOP BOI. Residential status for a firm AOP BOI. Residential status for firm, association of persons, and body of individuals. If the control and management is partly or wholly in India, then it is a resident entity. If the control and management is partly or wholly in India, then it is a resident entity. If the control and management is wholly outside India, then it is a non-resident entity. Then it is a non-resident entity. So there are only two categories here, only for individuals and HUF three categories. After that, it is only two categories, resident, non-resident. How do you determine if control and management is partly or wholly in India? Four partners, one partner located in India. It is partly in India. Four partners, all the four are located outside India, but one of the partner visits India for 1 month during the year, partly in India. Four partners, all four partners located outside India, they never visit India. All decisions are taken there only, non-resident entity. Only outside India, then it becomes a non-resident entity. Residential status of companies. Residential status of companies. If the company is incorporated under Indian company law, then it is a resident company. Okay, I am not bothered about where the operation takes place. If it is registered under our company law, be it 2013, 1956, 1920, whatever year the company law was effective, if the company is incorporated under the Indian company law, then it becomes a resident company. Repeating, if the company is incorporated under the Indian company law provisions, then it is a resident company. If the company is incorporated outside India, if the company is incorporated outside India, but the place of effective management, we call it as poem. Okay, What is that poem? Poem means place of effective management. Instead of using the word control and management, we use a different phrase. The phrase is known as place of effective management. Internationally, this is a very popular phrase. That's why they call it as poem. Okay, if the company is incorporated outside India, but the place of effective management, is in India, then too it is a, then also it is a resident company. Okay. They don't use the word control and management. It means control and management. Okay, see friends, for companies incorporated in India, I will not see where is the place of effective management. Always it is my man, it is our company. I am only talking about companies incorporated outside India. Infosys incorporates a subsidiary in US. Infosys Limited starts a new company. It's a 100% subsidiary in US. The entire shares are held by Infosys India. All the decisions are made by Infosys India. Though it is incorporated under US law, for our income tax law purposes, it becomes an Indian company. It becomes an Indian company. TCS starts a company outside India, but all management decisions are taken by TCS India. Even if the company is incorporated outside India, if the place of its effective management is in India, then also I will call it as a resident entity. If the poem place of effective management is wholly outside India, then it is a non-resident company. Read through. So for companies incorporated under Indian company law, I am not at all giving an option. It's a ROR or resident company. There is no ROR. It's a resident company. If the company is incorporated outside India, then I see, is it a company which is managed from India, which is controlled from India? But I don't use the word control and management. I use a phrase called place of effective management. If the place of effective management is in India, then also I will consider that company as a resident company. Only if the poem is outside India, I will call it as non-resident. Notification by CBDT. We all know CBDT is the issuing authority for.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
சார் அப்ப கம்பெனி வந்து இந்தியன் லா கீழே இன்கார்பரேட் ஆயிட்டு போயம் வெளியே இருந்தா சார்
Resident Indian law incorporate ஆனாலே resident company.
பட் போயம் வெளியே இருக்கு சார் அது வந்து ஒரு
If the
ஃபாரின் கம்பெனியோட
company is
கண்ட்ரோல்.
incorporated under Indian company law, it becomes a resident company. நான் ரெசிடென்ட் தான் சொல்றேன், டாக்ஸ் எல்லாம் நான் உனக்கு இன்னும் சொல்லல. I will tax it so and so, I will tax it like this. I'm saying it's a resident company if you incorporate under Indian company.
Control and management very poem partly in India, wholly in India கிடையாதா சார்?
Wholly in India, partly in India கிடையாது. போயம்ன்றதே ஒரு பெரிய கான்செப்ட் இன்டர்நேஷனலி. ஃபைனல்ல படிக்கலாம். Friends, this is last class. If you remember, our friend was asking me about ship crew. எப்படி சார் determine பண்ணுவீங்க அப்படின்னு. Okay, I told him please wait. Okay, notification by CBDT for individual who is a member of a ship crew. Notification. This is a special notification brought to them because I will repeat our friend's doubt so that you are very clear. You say 182 days he should be in India. In a ship crew, the member of a ship crew, the basic condition 2 is not applicable. Only basic condition 1 is applicable for him. You say that he should be in India for 182 days or more. Okay. And how will you determine? How will you know the ship is in India or the ship crossed India? Okay, internationally, like how we have land borders, we have air borders and sea borders also internationally. 12 nautical miles, okay, 12 nautical miles will become a border for internationally. That is, my sea border comes like this. It varies upon it. Okay, there is an intersection point in many countries because of which we have a problem, because 12 nautical miles from here and 12 nautical miles from Sri Lanka seems to be an intersection point. So we don't know whether the ship crossed or whether the fisherman went, and then we know the international problems that arise because of shooting of shipping persons. All these things, okay. So like sea also there is a border. For air there is a radars. Within the radar, if it is coming, it becomes that you have come into India. Okay, so that is more for customs law than our law. But here, our friend was asking me, sir, how do you know that the person is in India or outside India if he is in a ship and the ship is in water? Okay, how do you know? This is where CBDT gave a notification which gives lot of clarity. It just says, boss, I don't mind. The day he enters into the ship and the ship commencing the voyage, I will take that day he has left India. The day he has entered into a ship, I will consider that day as the date of departure. And the day that the ship touches the Indian border, I mean Indian territorial water land area, okay, harbor, or the day in which your contract ends, the day in which your contract ends, I will consider it as the date of closure. That is, you have come into India. Technically, here I am excluding the place by excluding the time when the ship is in water where I am unable to determine. I am excluding that particular period and only including period where I am very sure that you are in India. Okay. For a member of a ship crew, determination of residential status depends on when the person enters into a contract of voyage and when is that the voyage gets completed. Okay, for a resident, for a member of a ship crew, RS is going to be dependent on when he commences the journey and when the journey gets completed. Okay, when he commences the journey and when the journey gets completed. Okay. The date of entering into the ship will be considered as a departure date, and the date of returning back will be considered as arrival date, or the date of majority of the time only if they return back the contract will get fulfilled.
So 1 minute.
Take the time.
Okay, sir.
And whenever we enter the தலைவர் question, that means that is the end of the chapter. Okay, which means if we reach தலைவர் question or if we reach தலைவர், there is nothing more or nothing about that. Okay, so all chapters will have the last question or the question which we are going to work out. It might even be in the middle, but we might work it out as the last question just to tell you that that's the end of the chapter. Talivar is an Indian citizen and a member of the crew of Singapore-bound Indian ship engaged in carriage of passenger in international traffic departing on 6th June. From the following detail, determine residential status that assuming his stay in the last 4 years is 400 days and last 7 years is 750 days. Date of entering into the continuous discharge, that is date of entering into the ship. You can see the departing on 6th June. So he is entering on 6th June and the signing off from the ship is on 9th December. Signing off. So this period will be considered as he is outside India and the rest of the period is in India. The question is yours now. RNOR.
ROR, resident and ordinary resident.
ROR. Okay.
Sir, non-resident.
No, that's straight opposite answer. Bharati, how many days in India, Bharati?
So 181 days.
181 days.
Yes.
And no doubt you have to.
So the second basic condition is satisfied.
Which condition?
Second basic
For a
condition.
member of a ship crew, is second condition available?
Sorry.
No, no, not sorry. It's a learning, not an issue.
Sir, 6th June and 9th December. 6th June and
Raja,
9th
once more the
December
question, Raja.
day. Hello, sir. 6th June and 9th December India கணக்கு
Include
எடுக்கணுமா இல்ல
பண்ணலாம், Raja.
they are
Include
not
பண்ணலாம்.
India அப்படின்னு
Include. We should include. It is in India
Uh,
only.
ஓகே சார் அப்படின்னாலே என்ன அர்த்தம்?
Period of stay in India. April 30 days, May 31, June 6, July not there, August not there, September not there, October not there, November not there, December 9th he returns. So first 8 days should be excluded. First 8 days should be excluded. So 23 plus Jan plus Feb plus March. He is there for 181 days. 181 days. He does not satisfy basic condition 1 and basic condition 2 is not applicable. Hence, he is a non-resident. Hence, he is a non-resident. Very interesting, because they wantedly give you this information of 400 days, 750 days. Those informations are relevant only if you go for condition B or okay. They wantedly gave you that information so that you will be saying 60 plus 365. You should not see that condition at all. You should not see that condition at all. He is a non-resident.
சார் தலைவரையே நான் ரெசிடென்ட் ஆக்கிட்டீங்களே சார்.
தலைவர் நம்ம ஹார்ட்ல தான் பர்மனன்ட் ரெசிடென்ட்.
சார் அப்போ அவர் ரெசிடென்ட்டே கிடையாதுன்னா எந்த கண்ட்ரியோட தான் ரெசிடென்ட் இப்போ ஷிப்ல இருந்து?
Raja, let me make you for the whole class. I will tell you, taking this friend's doubt. Okay, just because a person is a resident or non-resident, the link with the taxation is different. That's all. Just to know, if he is a non-resident, that country where he earns taxes. If he is a resident, that country which he is a resident taxes. Very soon you will understand those things. But determination of residential status, actually you cannot say he is not at all. Every country will tax their respective income. In this case, he was asking me, in Singapore also he would not have been a resident, because it would there also he would have become less than 182, say. So he is a non-resident in 2 countries. That means his extended question might be, is he not at all? He is still taxable. I'm just determining the R's. Can a person be resident in 2 countries? The answer is yes. Can a person be non-resident totally? The answer is yes.
Okay, sir.
I hope this is clear to you. I hope this is clear to you. Okay, right. Before I progress, I have something to tell you that all chapters, whatever question I am leaving, as soon as the class ends, it will take hardly any time to work out and see. One. Okay. Second, every chapter we have two assignments. One is an objective question assignment, another is descriptive assignments. Every chapter will have two assignments, objective type assignment also and descriptive type assignment also. So both these things you need to do, and I am not going to give you longer time to complete and all, as and when, and I'm going to not make it so big and all, very small assignments. So as and when we complete the chapter, we complete the assignments also, so that it will be really useful for us. Okay, a couple of our friends have said that they'll help me out with the solutions also. Anybody, I will be very happy to take your help in solutions. Okay, once the solutions are ready, I will check once and post it in the group also for you. Okay, I will start the Google Classroom at least for our Excel sharing and assignment sharing today. Okay, and I know that I have not yet shared the day before yesterday video. That is because my system has some issues of uploading. So today I will ensure that I will complete it and share. Our friend was continuously reminding me also. I will ensure it by today. I'll share both the videos through the new methodology. Otherwise also, I'll start a Google Classroom exclusively for assignments and these type of homework workings, etc. Okay, I progress to the next area called scope of total income. This chapter I told you is divided into two: residential status and scope of total income. Okay, this chapter is divided into two: RS residential status and scope of total income. The second part of the chapter only now we are going to see, that is scope of total income. Scope of total income. Okay, I go to the front statement of this particular chapter. I go to the front statement of this particular chapter again and tell you something. Between the taxing nation and the taxed person, there should be link. Okay, there should be link. Okay, this chapter talks about how to determine the nexus, that is the link between the taxing country and taxed person. Two ways of determining is either the person should be my man or the income should be earned in India. Either the person should be my man or the income he is earning should be from India. If this is satisfied, then I will tax that particular person. Okay. Scope of total income is a table with which we are starting. Okay. is a table, at least 10 to 12 lines in your notebook. Okay, we will take that table. Okay, otherwise go to the next page and start writing. Okay, the 4 column neat lines, please. Particulars, ROR, RNOR, NR. Particulars, RNOR, ROR, RNOR, NR. Particulars is a lengthy column. ROR, RNOR, NR are smaller columns, please. Draw the table neatly. Particulars is a lengthy column. ROR, RNOR, and NR are smaller columns. Okay, I start. Income received in India or deemed to be received in India. Income received in India, or the word deemed means supposed to be received in India. Income received in India or supposed to be received in India. The word deemed means income received in India. That word deemed means supposed to be. Income received in India or supposed to be received in India. We call it as receipt test. Okay, we call it as receipt test. Okay, okay. Is there a connection, my dear friends? Is there a connection, Jagrati? Is there a connection?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there is a connection. Okay, the link is established. The link is established. So, taxable, taxable, taxable. Okay, okay. So, income received in India or supposed to have been received in India, we call it as a receipt test. It is taxable, taxable, taxable. Income accruing or arising from India or deemed to accrue or arise from India. Income accruing or arising from India, my dear friends. Income accruing or arising from India, or it is supposed to accrue or arise from India, or deemed to accrue or arise from India. Repeating, income accruing or arising from India, or it is supposed to be accruing or arising from India. We call it as source test. We call it as source test. Is there a link? Is there a link? The answer is yes. So taxable, taxable, taxable. The link is established. So in all the cases, it is taxable. Income from business or profession carried on outside India but managed from India. Income from business or profession which is carried on outside India. Income from business or profession which is carried on outside India but it is managed from India. Repeating, income from business or profession which is carried on outside India, but it is managed, but it is controlled and managed from India. My dear friends, taxable, taxable, not taxable. Okay, taxable, taxable, but whereas it is not taxable for a non-resident. For a non-resident, you should not tax that income. Only for ROR, RNOR, you should tax. For NR, you are not taxable. It is not taxable. Income from business or profession carried on outside India but managed from India. We in the introduction saw that there are 5 heads in which I classify income. I just showed about business or profession. We classify under 5. I said about business or profession only now. Okay. Rental income, interest, dividend, sale of asset, rental income, interest, dividend, sale of asset, any other income which is accrued outside India and received outside India, which is accrued outside India. The accrual is also outside India and receipt is also outside India. Accrued outside India but and received outside India, taxable, not taxable, not taxable, taxable, not taxable, not taxable. So, business income, with regard to that, if it is outside India but controlled and managed from India, TTNT. Whereas any other income accrued outside India, received outside India, taxable, not taxable, not taxable. Close the box by drawing an line under that and neatly keep this box.
Sir, this is for the income of an individual.
Once more, your doubt?
This is for the income of an individual.
No, yeah, with regard to individual and HUF, for others, this column will not come, the other two columns will come.
Okay.
So, friends, repeating, receipt test, income received in India or supposed to be received in India, taxable in all the cases. Source test, if the source of income is India. Sir, Mr. X served the Indian government. After attaining 60, he retired, went and settled with his son outside India. Went and settled with his son outside India, but the Indian government is paying him pension. The pension is paid by Indian government for the services rendered in India. So, even though he is there outside India, it is taxable in India because the source is India. It debentures of an Indian company. Debentures issued by Reliance, subscribed by a non-resident, and he is receiving the interest outside India. Is it taxable in India? Yes, because Reliance is an Indian company. The source of your earnings is India. Okay, income accruing or arising from India or deemed to accrue or arise from India, it is again taxable for all people. Then income from business or profession which is carried out outside India but managed from India. For non-resident, I will not tax it because he comes here less than 60 days, less than 182 days. So if you tell that when you come here, if you still control your business, I will tax it, nobody will come here. Non-residents will not come. Non-resident businessman will not prefer. So I am telling them, no, for you, I will not tax this particular income. And then rental income, interest income, dividend income, sale of asset, any other such income, wholly accruing outside India, received outside India, taxable, not taxable, not taxable. From a different dimension, if I can tell, for a ROR, he is my man, resident and ordinary resident, global income is taxable. Wherever he earns, however he earns, it is taxable. Repeating, for a ROR, who is my man, global income, wherever he earns, however he earns, it is taxable. For a RNOR, income earned outside India and received outside India is not taxable. Otherwise, everything is taxable. For a NR, either the source or the receipt should be in India, then only it is taxable. Otherwise, it is not taxable. Patiently now look through the table, you will understand it better.
Sir, deemed to receive, no?
He is supposed to be received. I have some provident fund balance, etc. Okay, I have gone and settled outside India. Now the provident fund is crediting my bank account. It is supposed to be received by me in India.
Sir, in the third condition,
I'm listening.
it is always resident only, no, because it is managed from India. It will always be resident then.
No. Managed from India is a even a non-resident who visits India will manage his business from here. Suppose let us take that Sundar Pichai comes to India and he is staying for some 1 month or 2 months, but from here also he is managing his business.
But sir, in the residential status of companies, you said that if the place of effective management is from India, it is a resident company only.
Can you repeat your doubt? I listened half, I am unable to. In the case of company, I said
That if home is from India, it is a resident company only, no?
yeah.
Then there is
If the poem is from India means the major decisions are taken in India. Okay, poem is a very bigger concept. As of now, I have given you only a bird's eye view of it. Okay, at your inter level, it is not there. Okay, ours is majorly concentrating on individuals. But when it comes to final, I will talk about poem. Don't worry.
Sir,
Go ahead with your doubt.
sir, in the last case, accrued outside India and received outside India means, can you give an example?
Debentures of a foreign company, interest is also received in that country. Can you tax a RNOR or NR for it? You understand, right?
Yes.
Income earning will only be the taxable event. Income earning will only be the taxable event. Inward remittances are not taxable. What is taxable is only earning of income. Inward remittance means bringing money into India from outside India. Repeating, inward remittances means bringing money into India from outside India. That is not taxable. Only income earning will be the taxable event. Okay? Okay? Will be the taxable event. Inward remittances are not taxable. Inward remittances are not taxable. Salary accrues at a place where services are rendered. Salaries accrue at a place where services are rendered. Why I am saying this? I will again tell it to you when we start our salaries chapter. Salaries accrue at a place where services are rendered. Why I am saying this is, my dear friends, if services are rendered in India by the Indian ambassador, he is an Indian ambassador in US. His physical location is United States. His physical location is United States, but he is rendering services for India. So his salary will be taxable in India. Salary accrues at a place where assessee is located கிடையாது. Salary accrues at a place where services are rendered. It is not the location, it is the place where services are rendered. It becomes taxable.
Sir,
Repeat.
So as you said, in USA if there's an Indian ambassador, Indian embassy, then the services rendered will be taxable, right?
Yes, in US and in India. And then they have something known as double taxation avoidance agreement. That is between the countries they enter into, and some will be taxable here, some he will not be doubly taxable, don't worry.
Sir,
Raja?
can you give an example of inward remittance?
Raja, everything okay. Mr. X, who is there outside India, sends money to his mother in India.
Okay, sir. Sir, interest received by an ROR from a foreign company, is it an inward remittance?
Yes, you know, it is income. Okay.
Sir, but it's a source from outside India, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you. Same example which you are saying. Interest income received by a resident, and it is received first in London. Subsequently brought into India. ரெண்டு வாட்டி tax பண்ண மாட்டேன், ஒரு வாட்டி தான் tax பண்ணுவேன். Income earning போது I will tax it. I will not tax it at the time of remittance.
Okay.
Yeah, friends, just give me a minute, please. Just take a break, 2-3 minutes. So only on the question our friend was asking me, I just want to clarify again. If there are two events given, income earning event and remittance event, only income earning event will be taxable. Inward remittances will not be taxable. Wait for getting more clarity on this. Okay. Example. Ashwin, you are there, Ashwin? Not there. Darshit, you are there? Ritanya, can you answer me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Please listen with the discussion. Please listen to the discussion, and if you have a different answer, you can let me know. Ritanya. Okay. Interest of Indian company debentures. Interest on Indian company debentures. To whom it is taxable?
For all the three, sir.
Okay. Taxable for all, irrespective of place of receipt. Correct?
Yes.
Is this right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It is taxable for all, irrespective of place of receipt. Interest on UK bonds received there.
So it is taxable only for RORs.
Taxable only for ROR. That's the answer. Taxable only for ROR, because for RNOR and NR, it is received there, income accruing outside India, received outside India, for them it will not be taxable.
So is it taxable only for ROR and RNORs?
interest on UK bonds, 50% received in India.
So only the 50% will be taxable.
For
Uh,
so friends, 100% for ROR because wherever he is earning, etc. 50% for RNOR and ENR. Okay, 50% for RNOR and NR.
சார் ரிசீவ்ட் இன் இந்தியானா அவங்க இந்தியால இருக்கும்போது வாங்கினாங்களா சார்?
ஆமாம் ஆமாம்
சார் லொகேஷன் பார்க்க கூடாது, சோர்ஸ் பார்க்கணும்னு தானே சார் சொன்னீங்க?
ஆமாம்பா.
ஆனா ரிசீவ்ட் இன் இந்தியானா லொகேஷன் தானே சார் பார்க்குறோம்.
Because the law is saying income received in India, I will tax it for all assets. When it is accruing or arising, I will see. Basically, revenue seeking law. If there is even one condition fulfilling, I want to tax it. Whereas for ROR, location, source, எல்லாம் ஒண்ணுதான். And I think what I said is only for salaries. That's why salaries I have not included here. Inga rent, interest, அதெல்லாம் தான். Salaries I want to be very clear. What the question you asked me is because I said location and not, I mean, you should not see the location, is only for salaries, Raja. Salaries
Okay,
accrue at a place where services are.
So can you please explain the second example also?
Interest on UK government bonds received in United Kingdom. So, rental, interest, dividend, sale of asset, any other income which is accrued outside India, received outside India is only taxable for RO.
Okay, sir.
So, for a non-resident, any income received in India, but he doesn't earn it over here, and is it taxable?
Yes, it is taxable. That's what I'm saying. It is taxable.
So, but then there's no like link with India, no? So only the receipt.
Yeah, there is link. You said no. Only the receipt is in India. There is a link.
Okay.
Agricultural income from Japan, received in Japan and then brought into India, to whom it is taxable.
Only ROR.
Only ROR. Okay, and not for others. Please remember, being brought into India should be ignored because that is an inward remittance. Income earning stops with agricultural income from Japan received there. That's all is the transaction. Bringing it into India is not again a different, okay? Only income earning event is the taxable event. After earning the income, you can spend it in any way you want. I am not restricting that. You can bring it into India, you can keep it there itself, you can distribute there itself. That is not a problem. Only income earning event is the taxable event. A non-resident gives loan to a resident Indian and such resident Indian pays interest to non-resident. Is that interest taxable in India for the non-resident? Patiently read through the case. A non-resident gives loan to a resident Indian and the resident Indian pays interest to the non-resident. Is that interest taxable in India for the non-resident Inaram Kumar? Is it taxable?
Yes, sir. Arising from India.
Yes, his answer is yes. It is accruing or arising from India, so it is taxable. I hope the class understands.
So deemed to arise out of India.
So your answer is yes. The answer is again yes. The answer is again yes. A non-resident gives loan to a resident Indian and the resident Indian pays interest. I don't know where the loan, I did not see where the loan is provided. The loan might be in Indian currency, the loan might be in foreign currency, the loan might be in India, the loan might be in outside India. But it is accruing or arising for the non-resident, the income is accruing or arising from India. The practically when you start understanding, we have a fundamental test. Is it an expenses in India for that resident? Is the interest? Obviously, it is that interest is an expense in India. So for the earner, the income is in from India. Very simple logic. Okay. Is it an Indian expenses? I have to declare my profit now. I got a loan, I have paid the interest. So I will obviously claim that interest as expenditure in India. If it is an expenditure in India, for the recipient, it is an income in India. For the recipient, it is an income in India.
For the previous example, NR in India கொடுத்திருக்கீங்க சார். NR ஃபாரின்ல இருந்தாலும் it is taxable.
ஆமா. NR in India கொடுக்கலையே. இந்த example தான்.
Okay, sir. Is it taxable in India for the NR?
Yeah, it is taxable in India for the NR. a non-resident gives loan to another non-resident outside India with the condition that the money should be used for business in India, it should be used in India. Interest is received. Is such interest taxable in India?
No, sir.
The answer is again yes. Because of this condition. If this condition is not there, then our friend's answer is right. If this condition is not there, then it is okay. Highlight that condition and put yes. Highlight that condition and put yes, because you have a condition that the money should be used in India. So if it is used in India, you would have claimed the interest as an expenditure. So it is an
Won't that condition be treated as a remittance? Like,
Raja?
won't that condition may be treated as a remittance?
Remittance of loan is different from interest. Interest I am paying. I am not bringing in. The Indian entity, who might also be a non-resident, is paying. So for the recipient, it is an income in India. Remittance is only the loan amount. Okay. In fact, I can go on. These three things are slightly very wide in nature. Okay. Sir, Coca-Cola International, the Atlanta, US Coca-Cola, charges royalty from Hindustan Coke Limited. Okay, Hindustan Coca-Cola Limited, saying 1 rupee per bottle for using the patent Coke. 1 rupee per bottle they should pay the Coca-Cola International. Okay, 1 rupee is the royalty per bottle they sell. So you can imagine that a non-resident gives loan gives right to another non-resident outside India with the condition that the patent should be used in India. Royalty is received on such patent. Is such a royalty taxable in India? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Okay, so any royalty, a lawyer in UK appears in the Supreme Court of India for representing a UK company. The services or the entire payment is covered, the whole of the accrues in India, because you are appearing in the Supreme Court of India, irrespective of where you are receiving, maybe a non-resident. Okay, we know many cases where a foreign company is sued by the Indian government or Indian entities. So the foreign company appoints a non-resident Indian, the lawyer outside India, to represent the company in India. Company is also foreign company, lawyer is also a non-resident, but the place of accrual of income is India, because the lawyer is paid fees for his appearance in the Indian Supreme Court. So it will be taxable in India. So interest is just a metaphor. Don't take interest as an interest is one thing I can say, like that royalty, patents, trademarks, appearance, fees of services, technical nature, software law. It is a big area. Okay, who develops software, who pays. Okay, if the Indian company pays for the software, then for them it is an expenditure. Whoever is receiving is an income. The Indian company enters into an agreement in US with a foreign company saying that they will use their Microsoft software. All of us are using Microsoft software. Okay, so where is I don't the Indian government will not look into where the agreements are made, etc. If the user is India, then they will claim it as an expenditure here. It will obviously become income for the recipient. Just read through 1 minute. Patiently, let us start understanding further. I am in question number 1, page number 20. I am in question number 1, page number 20. From the following incomes earned by Mr. Aditya during the year 1920, determine his total income if he is a ROR, RNOR, NR. In your practical notebooks, so I hope all the clear. In your practical notebook, heading computation of total income. Particulars, which is a slightly lengthier column, ROR, RNOR, NR. I am starting. Profits from a business in Bombay managed from London 30,000. Repeating. Profits from a business in Bombay. I will stop there. Income is accruing or arising. I don't mind where it is managed. Profit from a business in Bombay. I will stop my reading there. I know it is income accruing or arising from India. Okay. Profits from a business in Bombay. 30,000, 30,000, 30,000. Fully taxable for everyone. Profits from a business in Bombay, 30, 30, 30. Pension for services rendered in India. I'll stop there. Income accruing or arising from India. Repeating. Pension for services rendered in India. I will stop there. Pension for services rendered in India, 15, 15, 15. Interest on UK government bonds, half of which is received in India. Interest on UK government bonds 4,000. Half of that interest is received in India. Half of that interest is received in India. Sneha, can you tell me the answer?
Sir, for ROR it's 4,000. RNOR it's 2,000. And NR it's 2,000.
That's beautiful. Okay. Right, friends. Interest on UK government bonds 4,000, 2,000, 2,000. 4,000, 2,000, 2,000. Income from properties situated in Nepal received there. Income from property located in Nepal and it is received there. To whom it is taxable? Anyone?
ROR.
ROR. Only for ROR. Okay. Interest from property located outside India. Only for ROR it is taxable 20,000. 20,000. In every question this will come. Past foreign untaxed income brought into India during the previous year. Inward remittance, and please don't tax it. If you ask me whether it is not at all taxable, it is taxable not in 1920, but in the year in which it belongs to, and there is a penalty provisions action that has nothing to do with this chapter. Okay, for you now the understanding should be, if you see such a statement, please ignore it. Please ignore it. Past income brought into India now. It is earnings is not in this current year. We are doing it for 1920. Earnings is not in 1920. When earnings is not in 1920, now it becomes only remittance. The word untaxed law should not confuse you. Taxed or untaxed, this is only remittance. The word untaxed has some other provision somewhere. That chapter will take care. As far as you are concerned, in this chapter, never in every question there will be a line item called past untaxed profit, past income brought into India. Income from agricultural land in Nepal received there and then brought into India 30,000.
Only to ROR.
Only to ROR. That's beautiful. Only to ROR. Because in the then brought into India should be forgotten. Income earning event. Income from agricultural land in Nepal received there. Only to ROR. Income from profession in Kenya, which is set up, which means managed, which is managed in India, received there 12,000. Repeating, income from profession in Kenya, which is managed from India, it is received there 12,000.
Taxable only to ROR and RNOR.
That's beautiful, my dear friends. That's beautiful answer. Income from profession outside India, managed from India, only to ROR, RNOR, it is not taxable to NR. It is not taxable to NR.
So, but if they have a place of business in India, then is it taxable to the NR?
Yes, yes. If the place of receipt is India, it is taxable under the first condition that whatever you received in India becomes taxable.
Also, like a place of business, the office.
Place of business in India, income accrue in India. No doubt about it.
Okay.
Profit from a first thing we saw that only.
Yes.
Sir,
Huh?
sir, can you show the last question for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
But sir, that last question is given received there.
Yeah, received outside India.
So it will be taxable only to ROR.
No, no, no. 1 minute. Okay. This falls under this third category. Okay. Income from business or profession carried on outside India, managed from India, is taxable for both ROR or NOR. If it is received in India, it will also be taxable for NR. But since it is not received in India, it is only taxable for these two verses.
You can show the solution part.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, I have a doubt.
Go ahead.
Sure, in case of IPL, BCCI pays remuneration for foreign players. So it is an income receipt which is given by India and it is also earned in India.
Yes.
But they are also a non-resident of another, but like they are also ROR in another country. So which country will have a preference in taxation?
The country where it is sourced.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, once you see this, I will come back. Who was the one who asked out? Rama.
Sitaram.
Sitaram. Yeah, wait, Sitaram, I'm coming back to you.
Okay.
Shall I? Okay. For a minute, I'm taking a small deviation to just answer Sitaram's question. Sitaram, okay, we'll just discuss it. We'll come when we write it. Steve Waugh, a national of Australia, received the following fees from BCCI. Is it taxable in India?
Yes, sir.
From Australian Cricket Board, is it taxable in India?
No, sir.
From Harsha Bogle, a resident Indian, services has been utilized for earning income in India. Is it taxable?
Yes, sir.
From Harsha Bogle, a resident Indian, services has been utilized for earning income outside India.
No, sir.
Yes. If you receive from a resident Indian, I am not bothered about where it is. Okay. If you receive from a resident Indian, okay, if you remember these two, okay, I am not bothered where you are. Okay, for Harsha Bogle, is it an expenditure?
Yes, sir.
For Steve, obviously it's an income. From Great Chapel, a non-resident in India, for services on business carried on in India, taxable. If it is outside India, it is not taxable. So, even in the IPL case, that's what will happen. BCCI, if they pays, it becomes taxable in India.
Okay.
Yeah. Hence, never worry about, okay. Just start attempting the second question. Just these four things first attempt. Read yourself and attempt. Okay, I will give you the answer. Keep the heading, etc. These four things, whatever appearing in the screen, you first answer. Write it in your notebook. Otherwise, we can just scratch it and write it in some other line. Nothing wrong in making a mistake. Go ahead. Income from agriculture in Australia received there.
Only taxable for RO.
376 dash dash. My dear friends, 3,76,000 dash dash. Interest on China development bonds 48,000, 1/6 received in India.
ROR 2,88,000.
Raja?
ROR into 6, sir. 1/6 in India, na? Into 6 ROR.
Illada Raja. This interest on China development bonds 48,000, 1/6 received in India. அப்படி படிக்கணும்.
Okay. 48,000 the interest.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, answer please.
100% of the interest will be for ROR, 48,000, and the RNOR and NR is 8,000, which is 1/6 on 48,000.
48,000, 8,000, 8,000. 48,000, 8,000, 8,000, my dear friends. 48,000, 8,000, 8,000. Pension from a former employer in India received in Malaysia.
All are taxable.
180, 180, 180. Pension from a former employer in India. I can stop there. Pension from a former employer in India. I can stop there and answer it as 180, 180, 180. Income from property in Malaysia received outside India. How it is spent is never important for us. Always how it is spent, how it is raised. I am only bothered about two things. Where is the income earned and where it is received. That's all. How it is spent is never a botheration. Now tell me, income from property in Malaysia received outside India.
Only for
It is
ROR.
only taxable for the ROR.
290 dash dash. 290 dash dash. Repeating the first four things. 376 dash dash. 4888 180 180 180 290 dash dash. The next four things, please. Read to yourself first answer and then I will come into picture. Income earned from business in Malaysia, which is managed from India, 2,15,000, out of which 80,000 is received in India. Repeating, income earned from business in Malaysia, which is controlled from India, 2,15,000. Out of this, 80,000 is received in India.
215, 215, 80.
I got the answer. Any other answers? Yes, it is 215, 215, 80. If this 80 is not received in India, it is taxable for ROR, RNOR fully. Income earned outside India from a business, income from business or profession outside India, managed from India for ROR, RNOR fully taxable. Since 80,000 is received by an NR, that becomes taxable. So 215, 215, 80. 2,15,000, 2,15,000, 80,000. Past untaxed profit brought into India is not at all a taxable event to be ignored. To be ignored. Profit on sale of building in India but received in Malaysia 2170.
2170 for all.
21,70,000, 2170, 20. Profit from sale of building in India. So for all it is taxable 2170, 2170, 2170. Profit from a business at Calcutta managed from outside India 76,000. 60% of the profits is received in India.
76,000 for all.
76,000 for all. That's a very swift, very pakka answer. Profit from a business at Calcutta only is important. Only if the business is outside India where it is received comes. When the business is in India, I'm not bothered where it is received, it is fully taxable. Repeating, when the business is in India, it accrues or arises only in India, so the full profit is taxable. Never we should see where it is received if the income is India. Only if the income is outside India. Income earned from business in Malaysia. So I saw what is received in India. Whereas profit on sale of building in India, I am not bothered where it is received, I taxed everyone. Similarly, profit from a business at Calcutta, it is taxable for all 76, 76, 76. So for the 4 cases here, I am repeating 215, 215, 80. The next one ignore 2170, 2170, 2170, 76, 76, 76. Full answer once. 376 dash dash 4888 180 180 180 290 dash dash 215 215 80 2170 2170 2170 76 76 76. Friends, I stop it here because I want you to have the material to continue. I want you to have the material to continue because every question to see it in the screen is okay, but not the right option. Okay. I want you to have the material to continue. Okay. So I will keep following it up and also ensure that you collect the material. 1 minute, I join.